My brother disappeared every night, and every dawn he came back, with red soil on his shoes. Mother never wiped it off, not once, for 6 years. Why? Why did she leave that soil there? Why did my brother walk into the dark night after night? And why did I never ask? My name is Kim Young-ho. I am 78 years old. I live in Sokcho now, by the Eastern Sea. But I was born in Cheongjin, North Hamgyong Province, a place I have not seen in over 60 years. This is the third diary my father left behind. When I opened it last week, something fell from between the pages. Dry soil, reddish brown, old, but somehow still alive. I held it in my palm for a long time. My father placed this here, on purpose. He wanted me to find it. He wanted me to remember something I had spent my whole life trying to forget. The first line of the diary reads, "In the year our land stopped being ours, my older brother walked into the night for the first time." I read that line aloud, and I could not breathe. Because I remember that night. I was 8 years old. I remember the sound of the door. I remember the cold air that came in with him at dawn. I remember the red soil on the floor. And I remember my mother, kneeling, wiping his shoes, saying nothing. I thought for 60 years that I had forgotten, but the soil was still here, waiting. So tonight, I will open the diary again, and I will follow my brother into the dark, even if it takes me back to a place I am afraid to return to, even if it tells me something I do not want to know. Because somewhere in these pages, there is a name my brother wrote the night before he disappeared for the last time. And I have spent my whole life not knowing whose name it was. Spring, 1938, Cheongjin. I was 8 years old. My older brother, Deok-man, was 13. That morning, my mother braided my hair and sent me to school with a piece of dried sweet potato in my pocket. The wind was soft. The barley was beginning to green. It should have been a good day. But when I sat down at my desk, the teacher did not speak Korean. He stood at the front of the classroom in a dark uniform, and he wrote 2 words on the blackboard, in characters I did not yet fully understand. Kaneyama. He turned to us. His Korean was stiff, careful, like a man handling something he did not want to touch. "From today," he said, "you will have new names, Japanese names. This is the law." He called my brother first. Deok-man stood up. "Kaneyama Tokuman," the teacher said. "That is your name now." My brother did not answer. He just stood there. His hands were at his sides. His fingers were curled, not into fists, but almost. Then the teacher called me. Kaneyama Tokushu. I did not understand. I looked at my brother. He would not look back at me. That evening, we walked home together along the road by the field. The sun was low. My brother did not speak for a long time. Then he said, very quietly, "Young-ho, do you know what our family name means?" I shook my head. "Kim," he said. "It means gold. Our grandfather chose it. His grandfather chose it before him. It has been our name for 400 years. He stopped walking. Today, they took it. They told us our name is now Mountain of Kim, Kaneyama, as if our name was a place they could own, as if 400 years could be erased with chalk on a blackboard. I did not know what to say. I was 8, so I said the only thing I knew how to say. But Mother still calls me Young Ho. My brother looked at me for a long time. Then he put his hand on my head, gently. Yes, he said. Mother still calls you Young Ho. Remember that. No matter what they write on any paper, remember that your mother knows your name. That was the first day. That night, my brother did not sleep. That evening, my mother was at the well. She was washing my brother's school uniform. The water was cold. Her hands were red. She did not look up when we came home. I went to her. I wanted to tell her about the new names. I wanted to ask her if it was true, if our name was really gone now. But before I could speak, my brother knelt down beside her. He said, "Mother?" She kept washing. He said, "Mother, at school today, they gave us new names." She did not stop. She did not turn. She just kept rubbing the cloth against the stone. Then she said, without looking at him, "What is my son's name?" My brother was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Kim Deok-man." She nodded once, very small, almost not at all. "And your brother?" "Kim Young-ho." She nodded again. Then she said, "Then that is your name. Whatever else they write, that is your name." She did not cry. She did not raise her voice. She just kept washing the uniform that had a Japanese name sewn into the collar. That night, at dinner, my brother did not pick up his chopsticks. My father said, "Eat." My brother said, "Father, what is our name?" My father set down his bowl. He looked at my brother for a long time. The lamp was low. The room was full of shadows. Then he said, "Kim Deok-man, Kim Young-ho, Kim Do-chol, Kim Sun-i." He named all of us, one by one, slowly, as if he were placing each name on the table between us. Then he said, "A name is not paper. A name is what your mother calls you when she is afraid." My brother picked up his chopsticks. But that night, long after the lamp was out, I heard him climb to the attic. I heard him moving something. A book, I think. Hiding something. I did not know it then. But that was the first night he began to disappear. That evening, my mother was at the well, washing my brother's school uniform. Her hands were red from the cold water. My brother knelt beside her. "Mother, at school today, they gave us new names." She did not stop washing. She did not turn. Then she said, without looking at him, "What is my son's name?" My brother was quiet. "Kim Deok-man." "And your brother?" "Kim Young-ho." She nodded, very small, almost not at all. "Then that is your name. Whatever else they write, that is your name." She kept washing the uniform with a Japanese name sewn into the collar. That night, at dinner, my brother did not pick up his chopsticks. My father set down his bowl. "Eat." "Father, what is our name?" My father looked at him for a long time. The lamp was low. Then he said, "Kim Deok-man, Kim Young-ho, Kim Do-chol, Kim Sun-i." He named all of us, one by one, as if placing each name on the table between us. A name is not paper. A name is what your mother calls you when she is afraid. My brother picked up his chopsticks. But that night, long after the lamp was out, I heard him climb to the attic. I heard him moving something, a book, I think, hiding something. I did not know it then, but that was the first night he began to disappear. The first time I saw red soil on my brother's shoes, I was 9. It was winter. The ground outside was frozen. There should have been no soil at all, only ice. But that morning, when I went to put on my shoes, my brother's shoes were next to mine, and they were covered in soil. Not the brown soil of Cheongjin, red soil, almost the color of dried blood. I touched it. It was still damp. I looked up, and my mother was standing in the doorway, watching me. She did not say anything. She just walked over, picked up my brother's shoes, and carried them outside. I followed her. In the courtyard, she knelt down with a wet cloth, and she began to wipe the soil away. Slowly, carefully, as if she were washing something precious. I said, "Mother, where did brother go last night?" She did not look up. She said, "Your brother went where he had to go." "But the soil." "Young-ho." She finally looked at me. Her eyes were very tired. There are things a mother knows and does not ask. That is also love. Sometimes, that is the only love we are allowed to give. She kept wiping. And I noticed something then. Something I did not understand until much later. She was not washing the soil away. She was gathering it, folding it carefully into the cloth. When she was done, she did not throw the cloth out. She placed it in a small wooden box, and she carried it inside. For 6 years, she did this. Every dawn, every pair of shoes, every handful of red soil. She never asked where it came from. And I never asked either. 1944. Winter. My brother was 19. I was 14. That winter, he came back one morning, and his shoes were not red anymore. They were clean. I knew then that something had ended. That night, he climbed to the attic. He came down with a book, an old book, a Korean book, the kind that had been forbidden for years. He sat down at the low table. He opened to the first page, and he wrote one line. I watched him from the doorway. He did not see me. When he finished, he closed the book. He held it for a moment against his chest. Then he placed it inside his travel bag. The next morning, he was gone. He left no letter. He left no name. He left only the book and the small wooden box my mother kept in the corner of the room. The box of red soil. For 60 years, I did not open that book. I was afraid of what was written on the first page. But last week, when I found the third diary, I finally opened it. And there, in my brother's handwriting, was one line. It said, "My name is Kim Deok-man." That was all. One line. 6 years of nights. A handful of red soil from a place I still do not know. And a name. His real name. Written down so that someone, somewhere, would remember. I am 78 years old. My brother never came home. My mother died in 1962, still keeping the box of soil beside her bed. She never told me what she knew. She never asked me what I knew. That, too, was love. The kind of love a mother gives when she cannot give anything else. Tonight, I will close the diary again. But not for long. Because tomorrow, I will open the fourth one. And I think I am finally ready to learn whose name my brother wrote the night before he disappeared for the last time.